like nostalgic movie review from nerdy married man.
Hello, everybody. We are back again. This is New Nostalgic Movie Reviews. I'm Steven.
And I'm David.
And last week we did
Black Panther.
Black Panther 2. Now we are doing Bodied. This is a movie I've been really excited to show David and really excited to actually show the world and talk about this movie because this is, I think, an important movie, especially for the times. I love this movie, and this is actually a YouTube movie originally.
I think it's the first YouTube Red movie.
Yep, it was. And Eminem produced, and he actually helped a lot with this movie.
Yeah, I know he also did a lot of like music supervision and
yep,
really cool. It's a 2017 movie, rated R, and it is 2 hours flat.
Yep. This movie.
So it has Caleb Worthy, Jackie Long, Rory Uphold, John Park, Walter Perez, and Shaniqua Shandai. Sorry if I butchered that.
This movie, not a lot of big names in this cast at all.
There's a lot of battle rappers in it, which makes sense.
Yes. We actually did have, like, Charlemagne the God was in this. Disaster was in this. Callum Worthy was actually a Disney star. He was on the show Austin and Ally, which they made a couple of Disney references, and they actually made the reference to Austin and Ally in the
Side
movie.
note, I also think it's really funny that the Simon Rex was in this movie.
Yes.
He plays Donnie Narco. And the reason I find it funny is Scary Movie 3, he plays the Eminem character from 8 Mile.
Yep.
So it's just really funny seeing him in another...
He was also in What I Like About You with Amanda Bynes and a bunch of other things.
Oh, gotcha. He's really funny. But the synopsis is a progressive graduate student finds success and sparks outrage when his interest in battle rap as a thesis subject becomes a competitive obsession.
Yes.
The movie starts out really interesting because he's at this college trying to write a thesis about the use of the N-word. And it's really interesting, but it opens up with him at this battle rap with his girlfriend. And it's kind of cool because they use his girlfriend as like a conduit of the audience, like a substitute, so that they can explain battle rap to the mainstream audience. And it's just funny watching her question everything and her boyfriend just explaining everything about the rap and what some of the meanings are of things being said, which is also really funny because he's like the whitest person I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. He's abnormally white for this. And he's just, him and his girlfriend stand out like a sore thumb in this crowd. There are other white people there, but they seem to be part of that culture a lot more than they are. Well, they are very much from a ritzy part of the world where they haven't had to deal with any problems or any oppression. They don't really have to deal with racism.
Well, I think they purposely did that just to like make a point.
Yeah.
This movie is actually really funny at some points and in a self-aware way. Like it looks a lot at like racial stereotypes and wokeness and other things like that. But at the same time, I like it because it doesn't feel like it's preachy while it's pointing out like hypocrisies and ridiculousness going on in the world around this time period. So I really enjoy it, and I feel like it has an interesting message and perspective on both sides of the world of these characters.
Well, and I will say there are some warnings I will give out for this movie. This movie does go really hard with a lot of language and a lot of racist comments and racism entirely. So if that's something that triggers you, I would be careful with this movie. This movie even starts out really hard. When they're talking about that opening battle, it starts out with an announcer talking about the KBL, the Killer Battle League. And this is like, oh yeah, this ain't fitting up to be no increase the peace battle rap. They're going to talk about shooting the motherfucker, killing the motherfucker, and fucking the motherfucker's bitch. This battle might just spike the murder rate more than Reagan into inventing crack cocaine. So if you ain't with that, then turn this shit off and suck a dick. Those are the opening lines of this movie.
I guess the movie warns you.
Yeah, it's straight up. Which a lot of people make comparisons to 8 Mile because Eminem was such a big part of this, and because it is about battle rap. One of the things I loved, the director of this film said, back when the question of 8 Mile was, can a white guy rap? And that was a legitimate question we had because we hadn't seen Eminem until like Eminem came on to rapping. And then, can it be legit? Can a white guy rap? 16 years later, in a world today, with all the cultural appropriation dialogue and all the fucking race shit going on and Trump stuff, the question now is, with this movie, is should a white guy rap? And I liked that he differentiated the differences for these movies. In the past, it was, can we? And now it's, should we? And that's a really interesting question that has a lot of answers in this movie, which you will come up with your own answer for whether you think he should keep doing what he's doing in this movie, the main character, or you think he is a racist piece of shit and cultural appropriating. And so it's a lot of up in the air, and you decide what you feel about it.
I think if I knew the question that the director was posing for the movie, like if I had known that beforehand, I think I would have thought differently about the movie, because I did realize like this movie, there is not much of a story at all in the movie. I mean, it's very surface level. Yeah. And the movie kind of takes that, and instead of having a story, it more looks at philosophy and what isn't and is offensive, and kind of it has a conversation more than having a plot. Yeah. Which isn't a terrible thing, but I guess it's just different.
It's way different than a lot of movies you'll see, and it says a lot of things without beating it down with it. It says a lot of things that you kind of have to interpret yourself, and you have to envision yourself. And I think it says it in both ways in this movie, which is really interesting. It does this fine line of dancing around, like, I don't know, like he is this character. With trying, he always talks about, and he does seem like he has a great heart. He does seem like he never wants to be racist, but he ends up being the most racist piece of shit throughout the entire movie. And it is kind of funny that a lot of people think, oh, just because I'm saying I don't want to be racist, or just because I'm thinking that I'm not racist, when every other character in this movie looks at him and even says it to him. Some of them even say it in a different language, so he doesn't know they're talking about him. They say he's a racist piece of shit. Like most of the characters in the movie, they're like, yeah, you're a good battle rapper, but you are an awful person. Yeah. And it's that distinction, like, all right, well, can we love you for what you do, but hate you as a person? It also does like those kind of things with celebrities, which is also something like we've said for this podcast. With actors who have done horrible things in their lives, we don't want to focus on what they've done. We want to focus on the medium itself. And so it's the question right there is, should we care about the things that they've done and the things that they said? Or should we care about the art and the material that they're actually producing? Kind
of looking at some of the characters, I think everyone in the movie did so well. Like their acting is just on point. I guess is the way to put it. But also the movie is very well shot. It's technical. And one thing I also really enjoy is during the rap battles, especially, and even like some points when it's just looking at Adam's perspective throughout the movie. But I really like the visual, like pop-up style effects that happen throughout the whole movie. Like when they're talking about guns and making like the finger guns, and you see the gunshot flash out of their fingers, or you see like cool little animations on the screen.
Yeah, like someone will make like a TV box with their fingers, and it'll actually show like a white line that stays out there for what they drew. And then they'll be talking about X, and there's a big X on the screen or something. Like there was always a lot of visual representation during these raps.
And I enjoyed watching Adam contemplating how to approach his rapping style, like going the safe route, and like these folders of pop up next to him. It's like safe route, or should I play the race card and go hard? Yeah. And like him like flicking the folder that he's going to use. It was interesting.
Yeah. I guess, how do you feel about this movie before we get into the spoilers?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a interesting movie. I thought it was very creative. And I guess that's all I really can say about it, but I liked it. I think it is worth renting. I don't know if I'd buy the movie, but it's definitely worth a watch. I think everyone should give this movie a chance because it is so well done.
Yeah. I think if you're a fan of battle rap and you are someone who can look at this and try to see all the different things that this movie is trying to say, I think this movie is very important. I think this movie has a lot to say, and I think this movie does do everything really extremely well, honestly. It's a movie I've watched 4 or 5 times. I show this movie to a lot of different people who I think would enjoy this movie, and I personally love this movie. I think it's definitely worth a buy. I think if you like 8 Mile, you like Eminem, you like battle rap, you're gonna love this movie. It goes hard. If you want to hear some of the worst racist, horrible lines in rap you've ever heard, this movie has that for you. And I think this is just so amazing in every way, and I can't say I love it enough.
So with that, we're about to move on to the spoilers. Next week, streaming on HBO, you can check out Moonfall. And that is Steven's bad pick.
Yes.
So now, moving on to the spoilers. I think the first question I want to ask about this movie, and this isn't necessarily a highlight or downfall, but I am just so confused. What was with the CGI black cat that shows up randomly throughout the movie?
I don't think I
Did you not notice
noticed that.
Okay, so starting from the beginning, there is when Adam does his first rap in the parking lot. In the background, there's a car, and there's this black cat that jumps on top of it. And then throughout the whole rest of the movie, there are scenes where this random black cat, like CGI cat, is just in the scene and hops on by. And I feel like there's supposed to be some meaning to it, but I don't understand it. And I'm so confused.
I mean, he had bad luck throughout the entire movie, so it could have been his bad luck.
I don't know, but I was like, that is just the weirdest fucking thing.
I don't think I've ever noticed that. I've watched this, like I said, 5 times.
Which I'm so surprised. Like it's not like in your face, but it is so noticeable. So like next time you watch it,
all right,
just so many scenes with this black cat. But anyway, moving on from that, this movie is really interesting. I like my main thing I like about the rap battles is the idea of respect in and out of the rap battle. Like I love how the rappers will be talking so much shit to each other, and like it really seems like they almost hate each other. But then after, they're like, "Man, you are so awesome. You did so well. Respect, man. Like you're just so great."
Well, like even Adam's first battle with Prospect, when he's trying to think of ways not to be racist throughout the entire setting up of the rap battle and researching his life. Because battle rappers, that's what they do. They research these people. They go on their Instagrams, their Facebooks, everything. They point out anything that they can make fun of and use it against them. And so a lot of people, and they say that throughout the movie, the Asian guys, the Mexican guys, the black guys, and the black women, or just any of the women in this movie, they all talk about how when you are one of these races or you are one of these demographics that is easy to make jokes at, that's something that the crowd will always react to. So it's really easy to write raps against them.
It's that easy target.
Yeah. And because a lot of people will find a lot of these racist jokes funny in the context of, oh, this is just for battle rap, this isn't actually racism, that's where it gets to try and like towing the line a little bit. And I love the things that they do in the movie with that. And I love Ben Grimm, especially in this movie. He's just amazing. And I love, like, he says, because Adam's asking him all these questions about using the N-word. And he's like, anytime a white person asks you if you can say, who can say the N-word, it's because they want to say the N-word.
Like asking permission to say it.
Yeah. And when he's talking about it for his paper, there's even one scene where they're Skyping and he's in the library and he's like, are you seriously going to keep hitting me with that shit? He's like, at this point, it's almost more racist for you to just keep saying the N-word. There's a difference between referencing the word and saying the word. You got to say it like Obama says it, not like all the other presidents say it. And I love that line because it's comedic, but there actually is like a point to that. Like I understood that like to a T. I was like, oh, I get that actually though. There is a difference between like singing along or referencing it for like a paper or something and being
actually using it for its like hateful meaning.
Yes. And I think that's where they kind of toe the line. And I really liked that he said those lines in there. And I just loved, honestly, like a lot of the lines. Like the first few times I watched this, I hated Adam's girlfriend. And I still do. I hate her in some aspects. But the more and more I watch it, the more and more, like, she is the other side to this conversation. Like, she even says this, do you want to be another white guy shamelessly appropriating African-American culture? I mean, we don't need Macklemore. We need Mack less. And it's kind of a dumb line, but to the same extent, like, there is some things that she does in this movie. And one thing in particular, towards the end where she claps back at him and does a thesis against him. And that was brutal as fuck. And talking about how him trying to learn how to be culturally appropriate and learn how to battle rap, he's towing this line of becoming a really horrible person. And when she shows videos of him at the school of part of his battle raps, a lot of the cultures that he made fun of in those battle raps really go against him. They get his scholarship revoked. Even his dad's a teacher at the school, and his dad has to get involved. And like, no, I'm not helping you. You were the dumbass who said these things. Why the hell would you say these things?
Well, and at the same time, like I feel like I could see both sides of it, because the way she shows the thesis, like that video, I feel like she does the thing that a lot of like news stations do, and they show it out of context. It's just that they show cut right to all of the racist and shitty things that he is saying. Mm-hmm. And it's really out of context. At the same time, I do understand it, but talking about Maya, his girlfriend, she sucks. Yeah. I don't care how good of a message or bad of a message she was saying. She sucks. And I think all of his friends suck. They are just shitty people. Yeah. So even though Adam is shown to be a shitty person as well, I did not enjoy
even any of his friends. One of the friends that is of Asian descent, they're talking at dinner, and she's like talking about racism and what misogyny is, and one girl actually is like, I can't be racist. I'm Asian. Asian people can't be racist. Racism is the systemic oppression of people of color. I'm a person of color, ergo not racist. Which, even as an academic, these people are academics at an Ivy League school. That's not the definition of what racism is.
Well, I'm like, wow, you really don't understand what racism is, because it doesn't matter what race or color of skin or walk of life you have, you can still be racist no matter what.
Yeah.
So and I know they probably did that on purpose for the movie, but I'm like, wow.
Well, and like, I love the different aspects of that, because even like you said, the rap battle with Prospect, after the rap battle, they sit down and Prospect is saying how much he was like, wow, man, that was really awesome, the things you did. And he even acknowledges like, dude, I can't believe you knew I was Korean. Most people just say a lot of Chinese jokes. And it was actually like, he's like, as far as battle rap standards, that's pretty culturally sensitive. And for battle rap standards, yes, that's pretty culturally sensitive. But he still was being racist as hell. And even him in Korean, when Adam's like, oh, yeah, I'm so glad you know that I wasn't racist. And then he's in Korean and goes, yeah, you racist piece of shit. And then drinks his shot and then like gives him a glance. And then, yeah, I'm laughing with you. Yep, not at you. And it's one of those things like, yes, you are academically know and like you understand a little bit of racism, but you are being racist while still trying not to be racist.
Now, and back to Ben Grimm, which I think is still one of the best characters in the movie.
Oh, by far.
I love his idea of battle rapping, where he has this rule that he doesn't get too personal. Yeah. He tries to keep like certain personal things out of the battle rap because he just wants to keep his life personal. And he feels the same for other people. He always doesn't want to destroy too deeply, because he understands there's like a line, and there's a certain line you shouldn't cross, probably.
Yeah, and when I'll reiterate with that a little bit. When he says no personals, what he means by that is everything that everybody else has access to, that's not personal. So if you set something on Facebook, that's open game. If you have a girlfriend that's a porn star, that's open game. But if you told him something secretly in person about your mother or about whatever, as a friend, he would never use any of that stuff against you.
Well, like there are certain things, his wife and daughter and his career life outside of battle rap, he wants to keep personal. So he doesn't really talk about it with anyone. And then he trusts Adam enough to talk about it. And that's one of the downfalls I really didn't like about the movie, was Adam completely unleashing and attacking Ben on that personal level and just really bringing that level of his life into the rap. And it was
one of those things that I felt like Adam believed when he was making the comments about his girlfriend that he was getting personal. And so he decided to unleash personal too. But he did it way worse. And he always, throughout the entire movie, Adam always went with what the crowd's biggest reactions were going to need to be. He always, like you said, had the two folders in his head of, should I keep going with this material or should I do this material? And he always picked the worst option every single time because he knew the crowd reactions would be better. So he wanted the crowd love more than he did want the respect of what he was saying.
Well, he chose the fame of being a good battle rapper over his friendship with Osiris.
Yes. Which was really hard to watch, and it was awful. And honestly, like, I loved after that battle where he's like, as far as a battle rapper, I respect you, but we ain't friends anymore. I hate you. And I'm just like, damn. And like, he's like, you're a horrible piece of shit. I hope you know that. And it really sinks in with Adam. And Adam starts crying after that. Yeah. Because he's like, man, I fucked up. I just lost my girlfriend. I lost my friend. I lost my scholarship. I lost my school. I lost everything. And then he goes back and does another battle rap and gets everyone's love again. And he forgets all about all the hate that he gets because of the love that he gets for the battle rap.
He just decided what he cared about more.
Yep.
And with that, the ending, I feel like it does kind of drag on a little. I enjoyed the battle raps, but I feel like it does go on for so long. But on top of that, I know there wasn't much of a story to begin with, but when I finished the movie, though I enjoyed it, that was a weird accent. I don't feel like there was much of a resolution at the end. Like, there's a lot of stuff that just goes unanswered. Like, what does happen to Ben after he leaves? Or what's going on? We don't get any resolution with Adam's father or with his school. Like, what's going on? Is he going to be let back in the school or not?
No.
And like my biggest question is, like, what happens next in Adam's life? I just feel like the movie kind of fizzles out at the end.
I feel like the movie pretty much states that his name is Bodied at the end of the movie because he says, my name is, and his name is the title of the movie.
Thank you. Because I was so confused at the end. I was wondering because, I mean, the word bodied pops up. I'm like, okay, maybe he's saying that's his word or his name. Mm-hmm. But I was also confused because he says, my name is, and then it goes right into the Slim Shady song. And I'm like, I'm so confused.
Yeah, and I didn't think they were trying to say that he was Slim Shady.
I don't think so either.
That at first too, but one of the things I've seen the most of, the biggest theories, is that his battle rap name is going to be Bodied, and it's because throughout the entire movie he's either bodying or being bodied himself, and even on the times where he gets bodied himself, he retaliates and bodies the other person. He's been bodied so much by life and battle rap that he is bodied now. And I think that's what they're trying to say with it, that he is just a battle rapper. His school life, his home life, all of that is gone. He does not have a life outside of battle rap anymore. He is bodied.
That makes sense.
Talking about like some of the things they were saying is when Ben first talks to him about Adam winning his first battle, he's like, Adam says, the audience reaction, it was like heroin. Not that I would generalize about African Americans and drugs. And it's like, it's comments like that make him racist because his reaction and the first thing he said wasn't racist. But by saying, not like you, that's what makes it racist.
It turned it.
And that was like the conversation that he had with Oz's wife. He kept on saying all these things and she literally was going against everything he was saying so aggressively. Like, are you serious? Are you trying to tell me what's racist and what's not? Like, what is wrong with you? And it's this thing, it's like, what? It's so like frustrating. And I love that it's not even just with him. It's also with his girlfriend, because there's a point where Adam introduces Maya to Divine Right. And Maya says that she's so glad to meet you. And I really respect that you're breaking so much ground as a woman in this such a male-dominated pursuit. And Divine stops back with, what does being a woman have to do with anything? I ain't spitting out of my vagina. And I thought that was really awesome, because it isn't about who you are or what you are. It's about what you're doing in this field. It's not about anything else. It's about how you can rap. And that's all it's about. This movie has so much to say, and I really think it deserves just everyone to take a look at it.
Yeah, everyone should at least rent it. Check it out.
But yes, any final thoughts or anything?
No, I think I've said all that needs to be said.
One more thing I will say. I love one of my favorite parts of this movie is the reverse style battle rapping that Divine and Prospect do when they battle rap against each other. Because they were so tired. Divine was so tired of getting all the feminine jokes against her, and Prospect was so tired of getting all the Asian jokes against him. So what they decide to do is they decide to rap against themselves as if they weren't
talking shit about themselves.
So she talks feminine rap and does all these feminine rap things against him, but just against feminism entirely. And then he raps against Asians. And it's amazing. The crowd ends up loving it. They end up loving it. They have a ton of fun with it. It's the most fun that those characters show on their faces the entire movie of, I actually had a lot of fun not hearing racist shit against myself and getting to be the one doing it.
Yeah.
And it was like so unique, and so just the way they did everything with race in this movie is unlike anything else I've ever seen. It's so smart. It's so just amazing. It actually really depicts what I think a lot of people struggle with nowadays of what is and isn't racism.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. It's definitely a movie that has something to say.
Yes. I think I'm done glowing about this movie. Sorry.
With that was Bodied. Check it out right now. I think you might have to rent it right now. I don't know if it's actually streaming on anything.
It's
right
on
now.
Plex TV, I think, right now. I think it's still part of YouTube Red.
Oh,
possibly.
yeah.
If not, you can buy it or rent it on like Vudu or any of those other places, I'm pretty sure as well.
But it's definitely worth it.
Yes.
So again, next week we are looking at Moonfall. So join us then.
Bye.